Guys, welcome back after that short advert break. Let us now continue with our lesson. Let's look at question number 2, our next question. Here we are saying that your uncle recently renovated his house, right? He decided to buy a door as shown in the photograph and diagram. Right, there's the photograph of the door as well as the diagram of the doors, right? It further on says it has 2 identical doors that can open to allow for easy flow of people. Right? Further on it says carefully, very important, right? Take time, look at what is happening here. Carefully study the diagram and use it to answer the question that follow. Now let's do exactly that. Here's a photograph just to give us a better idea, to picture what is referring to. And then here's the diagram. Now this gives us a little more information, right? Here we see is insert panels, that will be glass that goes in there. And then we see the dimensions given here. Can you see at the bottom it says dimensions, and now it says in millimeters, right? Then also we can see it's labeled here A, the length here or width is B, and so on, right? It's labeled. We can also see if we look at the length here, for example, the total length of the door is labeled as F, and then again, we have different labeling here, A, B, C, E, and so forth. Okay, so now we have an idea of what is presented. Let's tackle our first question. So question number A says, determine the total width in meters of the 2 doors. Guys, remember important, you must be able to distinguish between length and width, right? Length, your longer side. So now we are looking at the width. So looking at what is presented here, I'm sure we'll agree that the width is from this point all the way to here. We agree, right? That's the width. So it should be the width, total width in meters of both our doors, right? So therefore, I'll start by indicating what I'm calculating. So this is total width. So how will I arrive at my answer? How will I calculate what the total width is? Okay, so total width equals, let me just get back to that. Okay, there we go. So I'll start with A. Now it's A here, this part here. And what is the dimension there? It is 80 millimeters, right? Then plus B, we can see B is 640 millimeters. Can you see why it was so important for us to first look at what is presented? Right, then plus another A. What is dimension A is 80 millimeters. Plus we needed another A, which is 80 millimeters. Plus B, length of B, 640 millimeters. We are clear? And then we have another A right there at the end, this one there. Guys, let's quickly go back. There we go, plus another 80 millimeters. Okay, remember it's the length, it's one dimensional, so that stays millimeters, right? So it's 80 plus 640 plus 80 plus another 80 plus 640 plus our last 80. So this will give us a total length of 1,600 millimeters. Guys, are we fine? But please note, it says, determine the total width in meters. At this point in time, our length, total length, is in millimeters. So again, we need to convert, right? We must move now from millimeters to meters. And how will I do that? I agree. So therefore, I'll take 1,600 millimeters and I'll divide that by 1,000. Right? And you know our decimal will basically move only 3 spaces. But to make sure, let's use our calculator, 1,600 divide by 1,000. So that will give us, and I'll write it here, a total width of 1.6. And remember now, it's meters. So there's the total length. And now my answer is given in the correct unit as well. As indicated, it must be calculated in meters. Guys, are we clear? Remember, we've started off by looking at the dimensions. Each millimeter, we looked at the labeling as well. A and B, and we then check. This is basically like a key that was given to us, and we applied the key, right? We've added it all together, and thereafter we converted from millimeters to meters by dividing by 1,000. Okay? All right, let us move on to our next question. So the following question, we are saying, calculate the value of E, the length of the rectangular glass panel inserts. Now let's go back to our diagram again. So where do we see E? Can you see there's E, and there we have E. So length, meaning it's this here. This side, we need to know what is the length here. And remember, how many E's do we have here? We have 2 of these rectangular glass panels. Can you see? So meaning, what will happen here? The frame of the door is in wood, perhaps, as we can see in the picture. And this here, the glass panels, so in here, they'll put glass, right? Just to give you an idea. So what is it that we need to calculate? The length of these 2 glass panel inserts. So again, how do we go about it? Right? Let me quickly indicate what I'm calculating. I'm calculating E. What is E? It's the length of the rectangular glass panel inserts. Okay, so my starting point will be to look at what is presented here. We see here, we are saying this part here, the entire length of this door, right, is what? Is labeled as F, as we can see there, right? Now go and we say there's F. F equals 2,485 millimeters. So I'll start with F. So 2,485 millimeters, right? And what will happen now? Since I'm looking for this here, E, as well as E, I'm going to subtract all of these A, B, C's that's indicated there, and I'll be left with the unknown, right? So minus, therefore, A. Now go back to our key. A is 80 millimeters, right? Then B, can you see? So I'm here now, I'm done with A. B, what is the dimension of B? That is 640. So minus 640 millimeters, right? Minus, I'm here now, there's another C. C is 95, all right? Minus 95 centimeters. Guys, are you still with me? Then we at E, that's the value we're looking for. Right, so I'm going to skip because it's unknown. As you can see, there's nothing completed here for E. Are we clear? Then I move on to C now. C equals 95, right? So minus another 95. Guys, let me quickly fix here. This must be millimeters, not centimeters. Remember, it's all in millimeters, right? So I'm done with C as well. I'm back at E, that's unknown. Then at the end here, I see there's a D, minus D. What's the value of D? Length there is 220, minus 220 millimeters. Okay, so what will happen now? First, I'm going to take my 2,485 and I'll subtract all these known values, right? So let's do exactly that. Please work with me on your calculator. So it's 2,485 minus 80, minus 640, minus your 95, minus another 95, and then last we have minus 220. So this will give us 1,355 millimeters. But please note, there are 2 of these rectangular glass panels. So therefore, we need to say 1,355 millimeters divided by 2, right? To know what is the length of E. So 1,355 divided by 2. So that will give us an answer of, let me write it here, 677.5 millimeters. Guys, are we clear? So first I start with the known. We know the entire length, F, is indicated as 2,485. I subtracted all the known values, right, based on the key, basically, that's given to me. I've ended with a length of 1,355. And since we have 2 of these rectangular glass panels, I took my total length here, that's left, and I divided that by 2. Ended up with an answer of 677.5 millimeters. So that means that the length here is 677.5, and this length here is also 677.5. Guys, I hope that's clear to all of you. Let us take a quick advert break. After our break, we wrap up today's lesson. See you now.